Oh, hey, how you doing there, James?
Good. Doing mic check. How you doing today?
Okay, let me see if I can get my volume up on my headset a little bit here. What am I doing?
Man, I love that.
I know, I love that too. That's so
wow. Yeah, he had me hypnotized there for a minute.
I know, man. Right. I know, man.
Yeah, that's good cadence though, man. They kick.
Oh yeah, they're
blended really good. I like that. That's music. That's really music.
It's like I like.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. How's Jersey, man?
Man, Jersey is very quiet here. Really? Where in my area, it's Jersey looks very subdued when you go outside.
Not like you remember, huh?
No, it's not. I think it's a little better than I remember. People seem to be calm.
Yeah, well, that's good. You know.
Yeah. So I'm finding it.
But is that because you just can't see them? They're in their houses. You can't see them.
Yeah. You're right. So you gotta be cautiously optimistic about it.
You know, when was it Amazon's?
My son works at Amazon.
Oh, he really? He's in one of the fulfillment centers. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, we ought to hear from him sometime. How it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll hear from him.
Unless he's sworn to secrecy or something.
No. I took him to work this morning.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, so I got to look at that. I said, wow, look at this big place. But anyway, so.
Oh, yeah. Big deal. Yeah. How far a drive is it?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay.
He's in it's in Edison, New Jersey.
Right.
I'm in Belleville.
You're in Belleville. You're Edison. I remember Edison. I used to drive through Edison trying to get to
Edison, Carteret.
Law's place. We have looks like Mary Thomas is connecting in. I'm not sure she's connecting in, but
Mary Thomas is one of mine. She's my sister.
Oh, okay. All right.
My one sister behind me, and I'm glad she's connecting this morning. I got some questions I want to ask her.
Oh well, okay.
But first I want to ask you it's a legal question.
Hey, what's that?
Well, is there a statute of limitations on somebody that used to probably beat you up when you were a kid, but now you all are all grown and stuff? And
well, you know, the statute of limitations varies by state. Okay, in other words, it like say you murder somebody. Okay, there's a statute of limitations on that in some states. Okay, but in others, none. Okay. And if it's not, unless it's a federal crime, like, you some specific crime, like across state lines or whatever, the state law would apply. I don't know what New Jersey is, but I'm guessing on that kind of thing. See, you'd have to talk to a lawyer, man, really seriously, and find a lawyer that'll tell you the truth.
Because I don't want to take the law into my own hands, because I do. Because my sister used to beat me up when I was young, even though I'm a year older than she is.
Yeah.
she was tough, man. And I'm wondering now that we're older and everything, and I still remember that. And I'm wondering if
that was a crime. Was that a crime? You mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if we can just kind of enact it into law, because I got some choice things I want to do for her for beating me up.
Yeah, well, that's a Me Too moment there.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, she's on the line. I hope you're listening.
She's not on now. She's not connected now. She was
okay.
Got it.
That was meant to be a joke.
Do you see her picture? I don't. You know. So.
I don't see her picture. Did she connect?
She was. I think she was connected by phone, maybe, and it comes on like a black screen on the. My screen, okay, just with her name, but no. Her name,
yeah.
but.
And people need
coming on.
Mary Thomas. Who?
Yeah, Mary Thomas. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe she sometimes. Maybe she's still trying to connect. You know.
Yeah. Maybe so. That was good. That's a good sign.
We're not at 9 o'clock yet, you know. So
no.
Well, I started up with that all around the world thing because that's the one thing I've been posting up there that you know, I don't get any dinging at all about from YouTube, you know. So
yeah, we can use that. We can use that often.
I think those guys just donated that to the either that or it's the Colbert Show, right? The Late Show that they're appearing in that video.
Okay.
Or maybe Colbert just donated it, you know. It might have been him. So
yeah, I'm fine with that. We can use that, man, front and back.
I keep trying to find stuff that the stuff that we did before, like Harold Melvin.
Yeah.
You know, that they dinged me. They didn't block anything, okay? They just said, oh, they gave you one of those messages though. Don't try to monetize this. What that means is there's somebody out there with a hold on the, you know, you can't sell a product using it, that kind of thing, right? But you know, I mean, then you can play the Grateful Dead all day long. They donated all their stuff, you know, to some public domain, all their live concerts, and there must be 1,000 of them.
Okay, and all the live concerts.
Yeah, you could just attend a Dead concert from now until, you know, funeral time.
Yeah, and, I was listening to this guy. I was listening to this guy yesterday because my cousin Miracle performs in the UK. Something. The radio station is called Chocolate Radio. You ever heard of that?
No.
Guys, it's a radio station over there, and he was like
in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah,
and she's in Baltimore.
Oh, but she broadcasts through a station in the UK from Baltimore.
Yeah, I guess he's doing what you do, and he brought her on. Yeah, but I was like, wow! I listened to it for a while.
Hey, you know, I see that you're also in San Francisco this morning. You know, by the by the Bay Bridge.
Yeah, but it's different weather here. Though. Mine looks blue.
Yeah, mine looks like it's got some kind of sunset in the back. Who knows, right?
I got fog. I think I'm gonna change it.
Yeah, you got fog. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So how you been, man?
We've been we got a dog, you know. We came up, we got a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like part, let's see, what is it? It's part beagle, part terrier, part corgi, you know, and so it's a little dog, but it's cute as hell, you know. But it's like having a baby. It's like having a new baby in the house, right? You know, you gotta wake up and take it outside, take it outside, take it outside, take it outside, take it outside. You know, just and very cute. But but nonetheless, it's a interesting. We got it from a Mennonite family in the middle of Pennsylvania, someplace. But when I noticed when we went in Maryland and PA, you had to wear a mask going into the stores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was required. I mean, I had one with me, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
I got a bag of them somehow. They filtered down from somebody I
Yeah.
think just so everybody got them up here just walking around and fashionable. Something about black people. Well, we take we take a hospital mask and turn them into a fashion statement
Okay.
in the blink of an eye. You know, it's
Well, I
like,
mean, there's these. Haven't there been people like arrested for going into a store with a mask and someone
oh
reported
yeah,
was
yes,
a
yes.
criminal? That that
Well, they're reversing that. They
shopping.
reversed that. Yeah, they reversed that by now. Yeah, because it's COVID,
Yeah, I hope
so
so.
it's allowed now.
Except
But
in certain parts of Georgia or whatever.
yeah, yeah. So how's it? How are things down there with the governor and everything? I mean, I've been.
Oh well, down here, well, Jefferson County still has they're still going up in cases. We're gonna have, by the way, tomorrow on the Wednesday program, we're gonna have
Okay.
Patsy Nolan
Mm-hmm.
on the air. Who's county commissioner here in Jefferson County.
Okay.
I was gonna try to get her to respond to what are the challenges. I'm sure they're huge,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and what are the what can be done. What's the how you planning on deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you deal with it, right? I don't know. She's been pretty I mean, I'm nobody agrees with everybody right all the time, but she's been pretty responsible, I think. So
Pretty consistent.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it's getting close. It's getting close to the
She's
big elections.
so
Yeah.
you got to get we got to get rid of this guy in the White House, man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if they don't get rid of him, you know,
no telling where we're headed, right?
no.
Well, we know where we're headed if we don't get rid of him.
Well,
deeper in debt.
I found a rule in life is that the things can always get worse.
You work 16 higher tons, and what do you get?
Worse.
Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, won't you tell me? Yeah, man. So a lot of things are coming to fruition that they talked about, all the prophetic speech. And it's just all coming. I don't think the country will ever go back, like you were saying before. There's no back to normal. This is normal now.
I mean, you have all these Nobel Prize economists saying that you're going to come out of this, and no matter what you do, you're going to be 15 to 20% smaller in money and wealth, total economy. Okay. Now, we all know what happens then, the way the thing is, the way the inequalities are in the country, that's a prescription for having the great scramble for crumbs. Really, I mean, right? I'll get what's mine before they get what. But I mean, it's also possible that in times like that, people, finally see, we have to change the game here, or we're all going to go to hell.
Yeah. So look at the populations of things that exist on top of one another, like ants. Yeah. And bees and bees
right. Well,
and somehow they know that they need each other.
Yeah, I think that you're going to see a response, but there's this terrible division in this country that's part of the diseases that it's acquired along the way. Or
and what might that be?
And completely, and it's causing a big problem. The institutions aren't responding right. You let a guy like Trump into the presidency, and there's at a point in history when the presidency has become very strong compared to what it was in 1776.
That's an interesting
government. There wasn't that much government. Okay, in order for in order for George Washington to engage in a police action, he had to call up the army. You know, which,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
by the
yeah.
way, you know, he didn't really have the money to pay at the time.
So you had some volunteers. There had people like me back
Well,
then, huh?
you know, he
Volunteers and
always
stuff.
he'd tell it, you know, like all troop armies formed back then. Well, you know, if you survive this, you know, you'll get paid in the end. You know, you get a pension, you get a war bond, you get, you know, I mean, and he kept his word.
Man.
He kept his word in the end to most of the revolutionary soldiers. He did. I mean, you got to say
Mm,
that for him.
yeah.
But but that's
Yeah.
true every time. It doesn't matter what, you know. I mean, you know, it's like in 1965. I mean, most of the officers in the U.S. Army had been trained in the Mexican War, which was another war to
Hmm.
slavery, right?
Yeah.
To Texas, which was then Mexico. Uh,
Hmm.
and but anyway, nonetheless, you know that when the Civil War came, all these trained officers that had fought in the Mexican War, like Lee,
Hmm.
people, I guess Grant had fought there too, actually. You know, they all went to the South because they all were from the South because the South was the biggest, the wealthiest part of the country.
Hmm.
Most of the wealth consisting of slaves.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
so they came into that army. So the North is sitting there and they don't have any. Only officers they got are these half-assed politicians all around these different states. They
Hmm.
got that had their local governor appoint them, make them a colonel.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
they were a colonel of a few corns of corn. You know, it wasn't much.
Hmm. Hmm.
They weren't lawyers and they weren't soldiers, but they were colonels. Okay, you know,
Hmm.
and
They were kinfolk
well, you know, so the actual fighting
most
officer
of the
corps,
time. Huh?
mostly in the South,
Hmm.
mostly with the South, right? And so when they hit the first battlefields, I mean, guess who won? You know, I mean, the colonels that were not even military people, really. I mean, they had no real training, right? Anything, and that versus, you know, Lee, who was pretty seasoned commander, right? And you know, so they got creamed for a while until Grant came along. And
Hmm. Grant took Richmond, huh?
well, Grant took, you know, I mean, you know, I think this is one of the most interesting things about people that are sort of destined for warfare. You know, that can do that, right? I mean,
Hmm.
maybe you can count Geronimo if you want to, right?
Yeah.
Thousand never captured. You know,
Hmm.
bloodthirsty as hell in battle, right?
Hmm.
But then and then just you know you can't catch him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just gifted at it, right? I mean, and then you have another guy like Grant. He says, well, "Okay, you're gonna have to shed, you know, tens of thousands of lives to do this." And he says,
Hmm.
"If that's what it takes, that's what we do."
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, whereas the other generals, the sort of gentleman generals that Lincoln had around him in the beginning, you know, they said, "Well, if we just, you know, encircle Richmond, the capital, eventually they'll give up."
Hmm. Hmm.
Lincoln kept telling him, I don't think they'll give up until you destroy their army.
Yeah, and that's in that drawl. Yeah,
that
that
turned out
southern.
that turned out to be
Ah,
true.
that's where I think that's probably where the Duke John Wayne got his swagger from. You're better, get tough, kid.
Yeah, right. Otherwise, yeah.
Pilgrim. Hey, so listen to me, man. So everything seems to be going well in terms of uh, people rushing back out. I mean, people have kind of gotten their minds made up that they're going to go back out in public
Well,
and
we're going to find out. Right? I mean, it really
just take
depends.
their chances. It was a crapshoot going on here. Huh?
Yeah, well, it really depends on what happens now, right? If the death rate goes up and the hospitals start to fill up again, I guess that you're going to have to go back and start again. I mean, really, I mean, because people won't go to work if people are actually falling sick and dying on your job. Are you going back the next day?
No, not I.
Not, you know, you're gonna.
Definitely.
I'm going to take a pause, boss.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
uh, call
I,
me.
I,
Uh, tell
I
me if
think
you.
it's headed south. Mm. I think the I don't know. It's I mean, there's a lot of fear mongering going on, I believe, as well. But I don't know what to make of it. You know, it's like, is my number next to be called? Or, I mean, you know, you don't even know how to prepare.
Well, you're not, the economy is not, the country and the economy is not prepared to handle it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And you can't pay people forever to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
There is a boundary there. I mean, you know, but what are you supposed to, the whole purpose was, okay, use the time, tell people to stay home, pay them so they could stay home, okay, and do so until you've, you know, done this distancing sufficiently and the testing sufficiently to know who to quarantine and who not, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was the laid out process, and that's what some of the other countries did. And I mean, granted, they were smaller, but not China. China did it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not just millions of people tested.
And so we're not going to do it. We don't seem to have the capability to do that. I mean, not under Trump. And I mean, I assume if we had a better, you know, more, you know, rational person, you know, as president or administration, whatever.
Commander in chief.
We could have done better. We could have done a lot better. But you know, it's true. There's 50 different states in the country. Mm-hmm. There's all these. It's a big operation. There's, you know, unlike China, you know, you can't just send people back to the country. There's no country to go back to. Okay.
There's no country to go back to. And you can't play that card.
Yeah, I mean, they did that a little bit in China, right? You know, go back to the country, separate, you know, for a while, and then come back, right? We can't do that. Not for how. You know, you put people in cages like he did the immigrant children. So I don't know. You know, I think you got a big problem there that we're not. Nobody knows how we're going to get out of it. I expect that though you're going to see the second wave.
Yeah, they're talking about it already.
And and I don't know how they're going. It's going to cause a revolutionary situation in the country because
man, because the economics. I
don't mean just rhetorical. I mean, because when these institutions start to collapse, okay, and just totally dysfunctional in the face of everybody, a whole bunch of people dead. Yeah, you know, everybody's illusions are going to start to get swiped away, man.
And people start to get angry about things, man. And it's been overcast. The weather has been an overcast. But when the sun pops out and stays out for a while, enough to dry off the earth from all the cloudiness and the rain that's tapering off and leaving out of here, starting to dry up the ground, and people are going to start heating up like hot pepper or hot sauce or something, getting out in the parks. They're gonna be trying to get out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and how can it not happen, right? I mean,
how can it not happen? Yeah, that's the cycle. That's it. That's the path. You start, you know, risky behavior. I mean, which we all do it already. I was in there yesterday. My wife, you know, we had some company over. My niece, who was a nurse, and she came over, and you know, we sat down and had some food, and she was telling us that forget about the gloves. You just cross-contaminating everything. Every time you go and use that same pair of gloves until you come back in the house. You use the gloves when you get in the car. You never discard them until you're done with them. So people are not, so they're taking, whether they know it or not, they're taking some of those droplets and spreading them all around. And you can't help it. You can't help it unless you just, that's why the facial covering is really important now, because people, when they talk, those droplets come out of the mouth and into your face.
You're really protecting other, you know, But you know, some people don't give a crap about it, and everybody
don't care about it at all. And then some people just not gonna get sick from it.
You know, I mean,
like the guys down on some of the guys down on Washington Street that hang around at the drop-in center. Them guys ain't never get sick. they be outside. It's a couple of guys that's been down there, and I know for like 3 winters, because I've been volunteering, yes, and he's been coming in. That's right. He go down there and he spent all his days down there. They foraging for food, and you know, and it's been like 2 or 3 years that I know of, John. So
I don't know when wasn't it true though when Medicaid expanded Medicaid first came in West Virginia like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Whenever Obamacare got first passed, and the state adopted it, you know, thanks to Manchin and some, you know, he's done some good things. Anyway, lots of people started coming into the clinics. I got a friend over across the road from us that at that Harper's Ferry clinic, right? He's a good guy, one of the managing doctors. And he was telling me that, you know, the people coming in now that they could get affordable care, they didn't have to go through that unbelievable application process before to get Medicaid, right? They were coming in, and it wasn't true that they were abusing. You know how the opponents kept saying, "Oh, well, you get people free med, they're just going to come down every time they have a sniffle." No, you had people come in. Turns out they had chronic conditions going back years, diabetes, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, they may not be dead yet, but they ain't going to be around.
They're heading in that direction. That's right.
Yeah, you know, so.
Oh my
he said it was just stunning, you know, how many people had not been treating illnesses that they have.
And you know, this is this is sort of like a compounding the chaos, because most of the guys that I talk to around in, you know, the Harpers Ferry, Jefferson County area, you know, they I mean, those guys are just resigned to the idea that they're going to be on the street and taking that medication. I don't, you know, and then some people are just comfortable with that. Some of the, I talked to some people last night.
Well, it's summertime now, but I mean,
it's summertime, yeah.
That's not quite as bad as wintertime.
Right. It's easy to get people into rehab in wintertime. In the summertime, they don't want to be shut in. They want to be walking around free. You know, and so
nobody likes prison. Yeah.
Right. But so I think, and for the most part, what I'm finding is the people that go to the clinics right now are enjoying the idea that there's no physical contact. There's no, their therapy is via telephone or video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about showing up. All you have to do is have a cell phone handy.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I went to my 6-month diabetes checkup and at the clinic over here, but I didn't go in. I just sat in my car. You know, they came out and took my blood pressure and my sugar level. You know, the whole thing, and asked me all these questions and told me to go home. Well, I did.
How'd that work out for you?
I don't know. It was okay. Well, I mean, you know, Carol's got, you know, federal worker insurance and I'm on Medicare, you know, so I haven't had to pay much over there really. I mean, I got.
So as far as the examination and everything goes, how does that feel?
I felt like, you know, if I've got something fatal, I mean, they're going to miss it. Okay. It's like all those people in New York that died, but they didn't count them because they really had no way to process them in the ones that I remember how they doubled the number at one point. Because all these folks had died in their homes and never even made it to the hospital.
And it's supposed to happen again that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
some places.
Right. I mean, they're, you know, the scientists are saying mostly they expect it, right? Because we were not able to do, you know, whatever the scale of whatever it took to, I won't get the debate that one later about exactly how much that was deliberate on the part of.
Not prepared. Not prepared at all. Not prepared at all. So I'm what's going on in the recovery community is they for the most part medically assisted treatment, everybody's showing up because they have to be interviewed by the doctor before they can pick up their medications. Right. But there's some other issues going on, man, with families and people that's addicted and those in the family who have to stay shut in with them. You know, I don't know if you ever been around a person that's all narcotic.
Only one. Yeah, really. That was one, it was a long time ago, right? But for a sustained period of time,
And then you get very animated, man, because the nature of that, especially the downer. You know what a downer high looks like.
Yep.
So you're in a house with somebody that's normal. Say you and I are the normals. And you're in a house with somebody that's definitely on a downer, but if he's speeding around, now he's not on a downer. He's on something else that he ain't had no business. Yeah. But the medically assisted treatment, they say that the chemical, the drug, does not get you high. But the behavior when a person is on Suboxone or something like that is very similar to a person, and they be going, man, and touching you, and it's very animated. Even the females do it. They get animated, and so how do you hang around somebody? So this COVID thing, because most of the time, if somebody getting on your nerves, you can just leave. Go somewhere.
Where are you gonna go now?
Right. Where you gonna jump out of the frying pan?
Let me go find my shotgun.
They're gonna really start. They're gonna really start quarantining people. People that's buttholes, and we're gonna put the jerks over here. Put the idiots. On the east side. It's gonna be a mess. I hope they make sure. I hope they make sure that people like you and I get to stay in the same areas. At least we can keep the podcast going.
Yeah. It's like we're in the class that Trump said should stay home. Say that everybody over 65
don't worry
stay
about
home,
it.
but he forgot to say about himself. Why don't you go?
Yeah, he said, "Don't worry about it. I took the medicine.
Right,
it's fine."
We're gonna open it up. I mean, if
we're gonna open it up.
Got diabetes, you should probably stay home. But
he said, "But you got to remember, I inherited a big mess. We had nothing. We had no face masks. We had no toilet paper. Nothing. We had nothing. The shelves were empty.
You got a problem?"
He said, and he said, and I saw. Luckily, there was a bottle of bleach left, and I went and drunk that, and that's why I'm here today."
There you go, man. I got him bleached.
Yeah, I got him bleached. And then bleach.
And of course everything. I mean, it's just I don't see how even his Nazi racist, hardcore,
Yeah, man. They
can put up. Well, when he sits there, he's going to blame every single problem in the world
on somebody else.
What?
On somebody else.
I mean,
blame on somebody else.
Well, not just anybody. Always the same guy.
Hey, look, he like, all I need is one more round. He needs. It's like when Ali was knocking Frazier around. Frazier, all I need was one more round. You don't get for 15, period.
Right.
All I need is one more round.
Yeah.
We're going to change the policy. We're going to change how we're going to make people vote.
Do you remember the seeing Ali fight, like before he got banned, okay? Right. You remember him fighting like Sonny Liston, and that was a British guy he fought too, and they were trying to analyze, with the commentators then, they thought that he had, put something in his glove, because how was it possible that, that listing would go down with one punch, right?
Right, right.
And finally somebody had taken a film of the thing that could be slowed down, and it showed that he didn't hit him once, he hit him 5 times. That looked like once.
That's why. Hey, look, and so that was he should have got some royalties, because the idea of shutter speed.
Yeah. I know that was.
Oh yeah. Hey, this guy named Terrell Starr. Hey, Terrell. He works for the what's the name of the magazine, the newspaper in New York.
New York Times or the Post or the
the black. It's a black magazine. Black.
He came magazine? Like Ebony, but that's not
Ebony. No, he can't. The owner of the paper, he does a lot of documentaries on race relations and slavery.
One of
he was part of the Beergate thing.
Oh,
remember the black guy that was in the Rose Garden with the?
Yeah, hold on. Now you got me. And now I got to
do a little research.
So right.
He works for a magazine. He just sent me a text message. We're gonna meet tomorrow at 1:00. Terrell Starr from what's the name of the magazine? Anyway, it's headquartered right up here in New York. He came down to
Louis Gates is the guy that
Louis Gates.
Okay. Gates. Oh, he's a famous guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Terrell works for him.
Oh, so I see. He's a really interesting fellow. He's very interesting.
Yeah. So this guy Terrell came to Martinsburg 2 years ago, and he was interviewing a lot of people on drug addiction down there.
Yeah.
They was going to do a documentary down the Eastern Panhandle. He interviewed Joanne Schneider. She owns the Schneider Funeral Home and all of that. And interviewed quite a few other people, went up to the homeless shelter, but he took me and I was his guide. So he stayed down in Martinsburg about a week and a half. He stayed when they first opened up the Hilton. What is that over by the Commons? What's that hotel, the new one?
Oh, I don't know. You're talking about Martinsburg, right? I don't know.
Oh, okay. The Commons Mall.
We're not going to. We don't have labor council meetings in person the last couple of months, so I haven't been up there.
Yeah, I've seen y'all. They canceled quite a few of those.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
Your
phone is really good. Could be the phone.
No, somehow I've changed my notifications and it rings and I don't like it, so I'm gonna have to change it back. I didn't know I was doing that, so I've been clicking buttons. So I'm liking my new spot, man. I'm really getting into why this is going on for me.
How are you getting involved? Are you going to be involved in recovery activities in stuff?
I was just ready to share. So my wife, this group called Prodigal Sons and Daughters Behavioral Health. So the director is a friend of my wife's. The founder is a friend of my wife's in two different ways. Like the director, she was strung out on drugs some years, about 20, 25 years ago. And my wife took her in. This is before I even met my wife. Right. Took her and her 5 children, Jesus, and got them and let her go to a rehab while she kept the kids. My wife kept the kids. And so, some time passed, and then my wife needed some help. So the founder of this behavioral health center right up here where we live, he helped my wife get into rehab almost 30 years ago. But and he was just coming out of prison when he helped her. And wow. So him and some other guys in prison, in Trenton State Prison, they started this behavioral health. It was called Prodigal Sons and Daughters. And it's been going on for a while. You got, so it's pretty kind of a big organization. It's almost like Mountaineer. Yeah.
Is it mostly?
I've been invited. Yeah. Huh?
Mostly just in Jersey?
Yeah. Well, no, I think they got 4 or 5 different outreaches, but it's mostly on the East Coast. I think it's one down in Georgia, Prodigal Sons and Daughters. So I did some research and looked at it and everything, and it's up and running. Got the nonprofit status. They got they employ people. They got different programs, and then they got a building that has a top floor that's empty. So there I go. When I saw that, my antennas went up. So
right.
I'm gonna give it a shot just to see. I'm putting my feelers out. But
yeah, see what it's like. Yeah, a lot of times you can't tell unless you go do it.
That you go do it. Yeah, and so I was telling the director about you.
Oh yeah.
And she was really interested in setting up something to where we can do the live podcast and give me some space over there.
Sure. And, absolutely, that'd be great, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So there you go, man. But
so is it a religious? Does it have a religious orientation? I mean, is that where the kind of values? No. Or no, it's separate from that.
No. They was just feeling like they was when getting out of prison. They was coming home to New Jersey in freedom. So I guess and it was the bio. I'm gonna send you. Matter of fact, I think I did send you some of his information. No, I sent that to Jonathan Boswell. You know Jonathan?
Don't think so, no.
Jonathan Boswell. Well, he wrote the grant for the Mountaineer.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So he's gonna meet with these people for me and see if they can get some, because she said she's looking for a grant writer. And I said, well, you came to the right person. I got you. And so, I'm going to put my feelers out, John, but I got to tell you, I went from, I don't know, I think we had, I forget how many square feet we was living in, down to like half that.
So you got a lot of stuff that you got finding a hard time
parting with it.
Yeah, right.
But this is what the plan is. So we got out at the right time, made a really nice profit. We're gonna stay here and rent for a year, and then we'll buy another home.
Oh, okay. You think you got so you can accumulate a little bit of resources?
Yeah. But
or find something. It takes a while to find a place, right? I mean,
that's the idea. That's the idea.
Process, right? So
that's the idea. But I'm just fine. I'm happy right here. What's going on?
How you feel? You doing okay? Or
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and I feel like I'm being stretched out in terms of what's in store for me. Nothing but good things. I see blue skies.
Right.
And I still got my foundation is right there where you're sitting. And I know that. So that's the springboard for me. So anytime I need to take an extra bounce, I'm coming right to the Eastern Panhandle.
Okay. Well, I hope it's not a dead cat bounce, man. When you
well, no, because I think you guys will keep at it, man. What do you think about Stephen Smith?
Well, I mean, I think he's going to lose. So
do I.
Okay, that's
money.
Well, yeah. I read his program yesterday. Okay, and I love everything in it. Okay, and I got to the section. How are you going to pay for it?
Right.
He says, okay, we're going to have a wealth tax.
I saw that.
We're going to sell marijuana.
I saw that.
And a few other. There was something else in there too, but the mainly. And I kept saying to myself, "That's not going to pay for that program, pal. Not in this state. Yeah, you're going to need more than that." See, I just that's the part where there's something about the kind of crunch that the liberal side of the political ticket gets into when they have to confront the fact that, what are your assets? Okay, what do you got? I mean, you're going to have a wealth tax. This state has one billionaire and he's governor. We're not like Connecticut. Connecticut has probably 300 billionaires of families or something, maybe 500. Okay, maybe a couple thousand. Actually, I think they do have a couple thousand. And we don't have that down here. So yeah, okay, there's about 120. When you remember when the Bush tax cuts went through right in the beginning, we made a big deal about it. Everybody's going to get money. Well, only 100 families in West Virginia even qualified for that rich man's tax cut. They weren't, and I remember asking a question when Senator Manchin was up here once. I said, I hear that only 128 families in this state qualified for the Bush tax cut. And Manchin just looked at me and smiled, and he says, "Yeah, that sounds like the leadership of the Republican Party that I know." Although I think he's part of it too, but who knows? Anyway, yeah.
This guy's getting very dangerous too.
So I'm going to vote for him probably in the primary because I just don't know this guy Ben Salango, even though the Labor Council and
I met him a couple of times.
They endorsed.
I don't know what the difference is because it's just a tough job all around.
Oh man!
But it's just getting worse. It seems. I mean, the money, the people are so poor in West Virginia. For the most part,
right?
Extremely poor.
Yep. They don't have.
Man. And so and so I'm gonna keep fighting. I got to stay in there, man, because my grandchildren are there, my daughter is there.
Even these small businesses. I mean, look at how many right in middle of Shepherdstown closed. I mean, I drive through there all the time, so I notice. I mean, you have, the restaurants. The coffee bar, I don't know how the bookstore is going to make it.
Yeah.
My friend Mike used to run on the bookstore. He's letting somebody else run it, but she's been closed for a couple of months or a month or two. So I don't know how, I don't know where where are these people and where are you going to move?
Where are you going to move?
In the Dust Bowl, people moved. I mean, people left the South and went to industry in Chicago, and people left Oklahoma and went west to the West Coast. It's supposed to be a big green land with river running, kind of thing. Do-re-mi, however, as they used to say. But so now where are you going to go now?
Got to stay home and clean it up, man. You got to clean it up. You got to fix it up. Get the politicians out. Who's running for mayor in Jefferson County now?
Oh yeah, well I don't know. We don't have a mayor, do we? We have a.
Oh, okay. You have a mayor. You got. Okay.
We got a county commission though, but coming up. Well, I think Patsy is gonna. I'm gonna ask her tomorrow when she comes on if she's running again. I mean, you got Lorenzetti just got elected. The Republicans are up, but they're we're going to see how that works out. You got, it becomes a problem in county government, how are you going to raise the money? Okay. In other words, you got this great big expense called the school system. That's usually over half of what you're doing. And, the school board got very politicized in the past 2 years because they came out and decided to join lawsuits and everything else against the Rockwell company. And they lost all of those. And they're going to lose it. And it was impossible. It was stupid. Whoever thought that up, that plan, I didn't think very far ahead. And they got it's just insane. But so, they're gonna. I expect they're gonna get, and the Republicans are gonna gain ground on that locally, just because you know, the Democrats have put themselves in a position of being against any development except.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay, I mean, hemp pop, you know, and you know, I mean, I don't know where I'm not against that, by the way. Okay, but I mean, if that's your development plan,
Mm-hmm.
and what are you gonna do? Pay farm workers? Guess who's gonna make the most money?
Yes, yes.
Guy that hires illegal farm workers to come up and, you know, work for nothing. Okay, that's who's going to win
That
the
will
competition
work.
in the hemp industry, right?
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
So you know, there's no wages there. I mean, you
None.
know, why don't
None.
you want to get rid of Rockwall, which is going to be paying 1.5 times the median Jefferson County wage
Mm-hmm.
just to start?
No.
Get rid of them, and then have people go out and farm hemp for $8 an hour.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
If they get paid, okay.
Good luck. Good luck with that.
I mean,
They'd be their own best customer with that.
Or, you know, they want to get, you got a bunch of people in Harpers Ferry that want to go back and live in the Civil War, and you know, that they don't want to rebuild that hotel. You know,
that would be a big source of revenue for that place.
but they, you know, they
it's nice in there. I've been in there.
Yeah, I mean, they could. But I mean, you know, now there's all these lawsuits about ballot stuffing and everything like that, because the guy that's the mayor is just, I mean.
How does he like Senator Unger, the mayor down there?
You know, Unger has played, well, I don't know. I haven't asked John about that. Okay. Don't know. I haven't heard him say anything about it. Okay. But he also has been, the message that he has given on many occasions to both Bolivar and Harpers Ferry, who have this like long-standing squabble over who's paying for what kind of thing. And it got so bad, of course, that when the racetrack income fell a couple of years ago, you know, Bolivar could no longer pay its share of the police bill, so it doesn't have one. And of course, since then,
well, who do you call?
You call the sheriff, but you know, Pete Doherty told him, "I'm sorry, there's no money for any additional deputies, so they'll come whenever they can." Yeah. Well, shortly thereafter, the freaking bank got robbed twice.
So you got to put that.
And nobody could come. Harpers Ferry police force was a block and a half down the hill, but it was across the border. So Harpers Ferry mayor told him, "Well, you can't go across that border under any circumstances.
Go across the border and make that arrest.
No, you can't even go there." You know, so the bank robbers walk into the BCT branch there, right on Washington Street, and they.
This is true story.
Oh yeah, it happened twice actually. Went in it, robbed the bank, walked out. You know, it took the deputy half hour to get down there.
Did he? What? You don't have transportation?
No, they got one deputy sitting over there, you know, in Shepherdstown or something like that, or you know, and it takes 25 minutes to get over here to Bolivar there. Yeah. You know, so and then big row about that, you know, and then but nothing was done about it, because the Bolivar Town Council is also run by a little clique of people who actually are a demonstration of how little interest Americans take in their own local governments. But
yeah, you know, I was thinking the difference between where I used to live and where I live now. Where I used to live, shots fired, it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Where I live now, if you hear a firecracker go off, you call the police.
Yeah, right.
You call the police because it sounds like somebody's shooting.
Yeah.
So I said, well, you know, I'm gonna have to go through a little bit of a change, a little transition, because I can already feel the withdrawal and the symptomatic, and you know, the hyper, whatever happens from being relaxed and laid back in Martinsburg and Falling Waters and driving down and everybody up here is an aggressive driver.
Really?
So I stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh yeah,
So
you're
I'm,
like,
I'm gonna have to, I got to step up my game.
why don't you get yourself a tractor and go even slower?
Hey, look, I can't do that. I just can't. John, this is really great.
I go the back roads because
this is
people
good.
behind me, and my son. I mean, the way he talks about people's driving mistakes or differences. I mean, he should have been a state cop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy should be pulled over right now.
No, when you riding with him,
oh God, yeah, it's like in church. What what do you think your turn signal is for?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, so I'm going through a bit of a thing with that up here, man. And then I was outside the other day, and this guy, he lives here, and he was getting in his car, and something happened, and I was making a statement about the incident, and there was something funny, and I went through the whole comedy thing, and then I realized he didn't understand English. He didn't know what I was talking about because he didn't speak English at all. But I couldn't tell because I didn't give him a chance to talk. I was talking. And he just shrugged his shoulders. And that's just, so I never got that in the last 17 years. Because everybody I spoke to in Martinsburg speaks really good English.
Yeah, you don't have so you got to, well, you're in a much bigger metropolitan area.
Yeah. So I get it back, man. Like, so yeah, I mean it's going pretty good. I mean, I'm really good with the neighborhood. It's quiet over here, actually. And I'm about a block and a half from the park, big park.
Right.
Yeah, so people, can get over there and do things. So and there's a lot of stores, commerce around, and I'm about half an hour from New York City.
Yeah. You ever get into this? I know a lot of people in Jersey that they never go to the city. I mean,
I can't wait. That's where I go as soon as I wake up. But not now. That's why I'm a little anxious about when is this going. I mean,
how much
it's
it cost
ever going to be.
You got to cross the bridge, though. Don't you have to pay? Aren't the tolls like just?
Well, I'm gonna catch it. No, I'm gonna catch public transportation. Yeah. That's my deal right there.
They don't want any car. They don't want any cars in the city. Really.
And I don't want my little West Virginia car over there either.
No,
I'm trying to keep it as long as I can.
You probably just piss off the taxi drivers, over there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what, they're doing a big thing up here. They're delivering food. If you got a car and a clean license, yeah.
Oh,
Uber then took on delivering food to people, man, and wow. Amazon pull up in front of my house all the time. I mean, 7 times a day, people ordering stuff, food and everything.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of what's coming out of this.
Yeah. It's a good industry, and all the people that was talking about, and you still got some people saying that I don't want to have anything to do with no computer. You remember people used to say that? I don't mess with them things.
You're right. Right. Let me talk to you next week. See if you feel.
Yeah, we talk to you. See how you feel about that. Then you can't call nobody. And yeah. So
I know. I mean, if you're not online, I was talking the other day to a teacher, a member of the Labor Council, Kay Henderson. She's from Shepherdstown.
Uh-huh.
And she was very active during the teacher strike. But she was telling me that now they have to do these classes, of course, almost all online, right?
Mm-hmm.
But about 20 to 30% of the kids don't have the Chromebooks or the computers, laptops, whatever, and they are trying to do it by phone, which she says is just not you really can't do it. Okay, I mean, it's just it's not gonna.
Impossible.
You're not gonna get it done. You mean I don't care how gifted the kid is. Well, maybe if you're just, but no, it's not gonna happen, right? So
man, it's gonna be some really good stories, some really good comedy acts, some drama, everything coming out of this shut in with people. I'm just imagining, man, the kids. One lady said on TV, "Oh, you got to just take them computers away from them." And I'm saying, lady, where do you live and what kids are you dealing with? Now, there's probably some that you can take their stuff from.
Yeah.
But you got some household, them kids will flip out and have meltdowns and they cause arrhythmias in their body and just
well, yeah.
Yeah.
It gets. By the way, we're at an hour.
Okay.
You want to
No,
we'll. Hey, so but yeah, get some people. It'd be great to get some people involved over there that get them on the show. I think we could just. I think the recovery concept has a lot of legs if we just sort of actually and people that are trying to process unemployment claims.
Yes.
I mean, you got the sort of throttle of the whole laid off or mostly laid off population here, shut in population. And they got to go if that unemployment office closes, you got a good idea of exactly how many people are getting ready to rob somebody.
Yeah. Tell the truth. That's right. And it's coming. Yeah. I gotta get some people. I gotta get some people on here, man.
Yeah, so that'd be good. That'd be great, man.
Get some content. Yeah. So it's been great, John. All right.
Talk to you, man. You look good.
Okay.
And your place looks. I'm glad it's working out for you there. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be talking to you soon. All right.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. Bye bye.